Annalie Master. Welcome to my Common Sense Living podcast, where I will add common sense and value to your life. Get a pen and paper, you're going to want to take some notes. Today we have a special guest, Alejandro Quintero Rosales. I met him at Sticker Shock Speaking Academy this past weekend. He is a testament of all immigrants that migrate to our great nation to forge a better life for himself and family. I certainly enjoyed his story and thought you may too. So with that, I will let him tell us more about himself and what he does. Alejandro, welcome.
Hi, I am so happy and grateful for the opportunity to see here among you guys today. It all started for me when I was, sitting down on the dirt, playing with my little toy cars. My mom came up to us saying, "Hey, we're gonna have to start packing. We're living where we're living now, and we're going somewhere else. We're going to the United States." At first, I didn't know what the United States was, or if I was ever gonna come back. But I soon realized, that there was no going back. So I was at the age of 9. I came to the United States. I didn't know how to speak English. The first day at school, they sat me down and told me, "Hey, it's your turn to start reading." So what I did was, I was reading English and Spanish. So since I didn't know the language, people were making fun of me. So right there and then, that's where I made the decision within myself to, start focusing on my growth. I learned how to speak English by, watching nothing but cartoons in English. I would put the subtitles, so I would be able to, read and practice the sound of each word. So as I started doing that, that also started my personal development journey. Because soon after that, I started to listen to Think and Grow Rich, books that would add into my mindset and start building my future. Because once I turned 18 and I got out of high school, I got together with my wife. I went to Texas, picked her up, and brought her home. It was kind of I took a risk, and that risk has made me who I am today. So as soon as I turned 19, my daughter was born. That same year, I got married with my wife because I wanted to be right with God more than anything. So that's what I did. Short after that, my wife's father ended up getting really sick and had to go back to Mexico so that way he could get some treatment since he had a kidney failure. At that point, my wife went back to Texas to live with her dad. To help him, for a little bit, to see if we could, at least, support him in one way or another. But it got so bad that he had to go to Mexico. So I had to go back, to pick my wife up. And at the same time, I brought her little brother. So her little brother ended up living with us for about 5 to 6 years. So, I was at the age of 22 when I bought my first home where I'm at now. And, since then, I've had to take care of, more than about 5 people, including myself. Wow. Now I am 29.
A lot of responsibility. I applaud you that you took it on.
Yeah, it was not easy. But at the same time, I knew that God was with me because I trusted in everything, that he said in his book. So I used, I had faith. And, I kept on reading, I kept on listening to audiobooks, and, I was just putting new information into my mindset. Once I turned 25, I attended this great conference in Miami with a guy named Grant Cardone. And at that point, in my life, I had only $13.47 to my name. But, I put so much money into all I had pretty much just to be able to attend that event. I had to pay somebody to take me to that event. I had to pay him, for 3 days worth of work, just so that way he could, bring me back. And then, but it's that price I had to pay for, because I knew I had to be there to get, at least one piece of information that would transform my life. So, once I attended that event, right there and then I made another decision within myself that I would start, a business. And I gave myself, as soon as I came back from that event, I told the guy that I was working for that, hey, I want to make $100,000 this year. So he looked at me and he's like, "What? It's going to take a lot of work." So, the year before I had made $35,000, and the same year, maybe like 3 months into the year, I started my own business. I had nothing but $13.47 to my name. And the same day, the same year, I made 112 in revenue in business. And then after that, my mindset just shifted, and I put more belief into myself, what I was doing, and and everything around me just started falling into place.
Wow.
The following year, I stepped, I'm still going hard. I'm still going fast. I'm running, and the following year, I was able to double that. So I'm just excited and so happy because of the people that are around me. Each one of them has been part of my success. There's a lot of times, where I put so much money just to invest into what's going on in here, just so that way I can start thinking in a different way and start shifting the things that are happening in my life. And I also learned that I need to take responsibility for everything that happens to me, whether it's good and bad. And the hardest thing for me was, accept where it was and accept everything that happened to me. Once I accepted everything that had happened to me, then that's when the recovery for me started. And I was able to recover from all the junk that happened in my life, all the bad relationships, everything that was negative, I accepted it, and now I had to recover. So once after I started to recover, that's when the discovery happened. And I started to discover who I was, by attending meetings, getting in front of the right people, getting the right information, and just getting rid of all my old negative thoughts and limited beliefs.
Right.
So that way, that way I'm able to start focusing, on my greater purpose, which is now to serve others.
And how are you planning on serving others?
Well, the main way that I am going to be serving others is by starting an organization in which we are going to be helping the Hispanic community, because many of us, the Hispanics, they come here to the U.S. and they don't have a social security. So my job today is, to get here and be able to gather, resources to be able to help those, in the construction field that they get hurt. Sometimes, they fall off the stills, they fall off the roof. Sometimes, they're disabled, they're not able to get back to work for a couple of months. So, the bills, they don't stop coming in. They got family back home, they got to support. But who's supporting them here while they're hurt? So
Right.
that's where we want to step in. Sometimes they don't even make it out alive, and there you go to the grocery stores, in the Mexican stores, and then you see the little jars with a picture of the dead guy, wanting them to collect money so that way they can send the body back to their native land. So we want to be able to serve as many people as we can. Even with food and stuff like that.
So in case Spanish-speaking people happen to hear my podcast, would you like to say that, recap it in Spanish for them?
So,
Sure.
hola a todos los que están aquí mirando el podcast aquí de mi amiga Anli Master. Estamos aquí tratando de apoyar a nuestra comunidad hispana para así apoyar a todos los que vienen aquí a este país y que no tienen este seguro social. Queremos apoyarlos por si alguna vez se llegan a lastimar, no pueden trabajar, puede ser que tengan 2 o 3 meses sin trabajar y no tengan nadie quien les ayude. Nosotros queremos estar aquí como una comunidad para ayudarlos y cualquier cosa que podamos. All right, is that good?
Yeah, I don't know what you said, but okay. I'm so proud of you. I'm so honored to call you my friend. I'm so glad I met you because you have such enthusiasm and you're a nice looking guy. You're a nice guy and you got the drive. So many Americans, they don't have the drive. They've had their life handed on a platter. And I kind of resent that. I'm your grandmother's age, and I grew up with a good work ethic. You told me about the work ethic you're instilling in your son, is it? 5 years old, he goes to work with you and you have him picking up trash. Yeah.
Yes, my little son, he's 5 years old. I try to teach him, to love work, and work is something that we love to do because working is what makes us, practice our unique talent. So I try to, put ideas like that into his little mindset as he's growing up. So that way, when the hard work comes, he'll be like, all right, it's just work. Work is something that we must get through in order for us to get to the other side.
Yeah. That's a great story. Do you want to share about how you washed your clothes? That's
okay. So yeah, we can.
Because American people don't understand that. I mean, when I was in Haiti, I saw that kind of thing, but Tell us. Make us
Okay.
feel like we need to appreciate the life we have here in the U.S.
All right. So it all started in 2005. We first came to the United States and we lived in California for about 2 years. Once that, we moved here to Tennessee because, over there in California, the rent was so expensive. Not only that, but there was also so many negative influences, gangs, all the drugs, all the violence. So my mom said, we're not gonna do this. We're gonna be here for long. So she had the opportunity with one of her friends. She was moving to Tennessee, so she decided to, bring us along. So my dad, he came, brought us here to Tennessee. He stayed here for a couple months and then he went back. So we stayed here by ourselves. I seen my mom, she had to work 2-3 jobs just to be able to keep food in the table for us and be able to have a shelter for us. There was this one point, we had nothing. We were living in a mobile home. We would, we would look down on the ground and you would see holes. You could see the sunlight coming down. And, we had to put like cotton in our ears just that way we didn't have cockroaches or insects going into our ears. We didn't have no water. We didn't have no electricity. The way we would take showers was, we would have to go early in the morning under the bridge where there was a creek, or either late at night. And then after we got done, bathing ourselves, we would wash our clothes and then check our bodies to make sure we didn't have no leeches, because there was a few times we had to pull them out. And it was very difficult. And every time I drive by there, it just reminds me of where I used to be. But at the same time, I am grateful for that happened to me, because that's made me, even now, I be more grateful for the little things that I had. Even back home, in Mexico, if we wanted to take a shower with warm water, we would have to leave it outside in the sun for a couple hours. But that doesn't bother me. I take cold showers every single day early in the morning, because when I take a cold shower, I'm able to find myself, because I'm able to just ignore what's going on inside my head and just focus on myself. Just trying to comfort myself with myself, with my creator. And well, I'm in the present moment, just feeling all that cold, rejuvenating my soul.
Yeah, and cold showers are supposed to be healthy for us. But the hot shower and then the cold shower, and I just can't seem to get the cold shock too well. But
yeah,
I'm spoiled.
Yeah, I call it the 5-minute shower. I just go in there, turn the water cold, and see how fast you move.
Uh-huh. So what did you get out of sticker shock this past weekend?
Well, what I got out of sticker shock this weekend was not only the confidence, but also so many new relationships. I was able to come back home, and be able to share some of the amazing stuff that's happened to me, and what I had to put myself just to be able to attend that place. And now people are starting to take notice, that I'm serious about what I'm doing, and I'm not just playing around. And people are now starting to reach out. They're asking me for advice. They're asking me, hey, I'm going through this. Can you help me out? So now I'm able to put myself in a position to serve others.
Oh, that's so great. I'm so proud of you. How old are you now?
Well, right now I am 29, and I have 4 kids: my stepson, my oldest daughter, my son, and my youngest daughter.
Wow. A
lot
of
aside from all that, and aside from all that, I'm also going into the jails here in my local community to help rehabilitate the inmates. We want to be able to teach them how to be men of God, how to be fathers, how to be better husbands. So that way, when they do get out, they'll be able to, start hanging around with different people. We're going to be having an event in November. We're going to, here in the local community, where we want to bring local business owners. And so that way we can put some money together, so that way we can find housing, and maybe find them also jobs. And once they get out of jail, we also want to be able to teach onto them, and keep them building their mindset. So I'm just so happy and grateful for the opportunity that God's been giving me. So I'm just excited.
I can see the joy just exuding from you. So I mean, so proud of yourself, and you've earned every bit of it. I'm just so tickled, so honored to know you. I wish
Thank you so much.
more Americans felt like that. I mean, it's just so sad what we've come to in this country, and immigrants come over here expecting they're going to have a better life and everything, and it's like, what happened to the U.S.? I mean, we're not as they don't want to work, so you certainly shouldn't have any trouble getting anybody a job, because Americans don't want to work.
Yeah, because even right now, it's pretty much us, building all the homes, all the nursery homes,
Sure.
the hospitals, and it's hard, for us to get some recognition. So,
Right.
I want to be able to be a voice for the people, because, I'm one of them. I can relate to everyone's story. I just went and picked up a guy, from that he had just came here from Mexico, and he shared, a story with me, that he got kidnapped and they wouldn't let him go unless he would pay the ransom.
Ah,
So it was just so hard because he would just be in a room locked up with 70 to 100 people, and he said he had it in for like 2 nights and 2 days, and that he would eat just a little amount just for enough for them to survive, and then go another 2 days and 2 nights without eating. It's just they kept them just enough for them to be alive, and it's hard.
oh, wow. So they just kidnap anybody off the street and expect that they should be able to get some money and if they don't get money, do they let them die or do they put them in the slave trade?
Well, they put him on they just put him like in a warehouse. He said that the guys that were helping them cross over, they seen the bad guys coming and they just left them there. Just left them there, and they took the guys that they were able to cut, and once they were all in the warehouse, then they saw one of the guys that had left them there, and he had blood all over. I guess the other guy got executed, but it was it's a sad reality out there, but it's the sacrifice that we put in just to be able to provide for our families. And a lot of people don't even make it. They get stuck halfway, and they just get forgotten.
Oh, wow. Whew. I'm speechless. You've opened my eyes, and I'm sure you've opened the audience eyes a lot. And I hope that the people here, not just, well, everybody living in the U.S., worldwide for that matter, would have a different appreciation. Too many people want to take advantage. We don't want to work that much. We're so soft, and because we've had it so good for so many years, because our ancestors worked their butts off to provide for us. And too many Americans wallow in their self-pity, and they like to keep other people in their self-pity with them. So there's people like you and I that we see that and we rise above it. And what I really liked with Sticker Shock, there's so many people there that were love and love God and positive and bring you along with them, uplift each other. It was just, I'm still on a high from it. It was the most glorious group of people. So
yes,
yeah.
I agree.
Oh, and by the way, I'm going to Denver with Daniel.
Okay, are you going to be speaking on there too?
In October, yes, I'm going to be speaking there. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that also. I'm going to be on stage with you.
Are you going to Denver too?
Yeah.
Oh, goody. I'm so pleased. Oh, that'll be so fun.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the opportunity to be able to get in front of more people, and maybe see if we can collaborate on a bigger, higher way.
Yeah. Well, I like it that I'm investing in myself, the experience and the opportunity and the recognition and, growth from there. It's just, I love to learn. So I just add it as being another learning experience. And I've got the door open. I praise my Lord. I thank him many times. And things are just popping for me. At an older age, I'm just starting to live. I'm aging younger. Attitude is so much.
Oh, it is. I believe that 100%.
I can
Because
tell.
if we go in there with the wrong attitude, then things might not go our way. But when we go in there with a positive mindset, even if they do go bad, it's like, okay, so what? It just happened. It's time to move on. We just have our 5-minute pity party, and then we just move on. We can't let that one situation hold us back for so many years.
Right. I even thank God for things that aren't happy for me, something that nobody would want to go through, but I learned from it. So I say thank you for that experience. I learned from it, and now I move on, and I won't be repeating that experience.
Yeah.
But I have so many with age. You acquire more experiences, and so I have so much that I can share with people. So I think our lives are just beginning to be so exciting. You with youth and being from another country, immigrating into this one, meshing with all the cultures that are here, and me being older and all kinds of experiences. It's just so cool.
Yeah, I don't think much about age, because time, I feel like time is just something that that it just happens, it is the things that we do within that time that make all the difference.
Yes, yes, it does. And I haven't done enough in all those other years, but I have acquired all the knowledge that I can put to use now. So when I say I haven't done enough, that's kind of a negative. But I realized that I went through all these things that I can. I was stalked. My ex-husband, not quite ex, but he was stalking me with a 45 Magnum. So I can identify with somebody who's got a dangerous person looking for them. Whether he was all talk or what, I don't know. I just who would think that would happen in a safe city, that kind of thing. Chicago, but not in a smaller town in Iowa.
Yeah, and a lot of people, things happen to them, and they don't know how to let go. A lot of things that happen to us, while we grow up, they are out of our control, and we can do nothing about them, to change them, and they already happened. The best thing we can do is accept them and move on.
Yes, and that's the important thing, isn't it? The acceptance, because in the acceptance, you kind of released it, and now it doesn't bother you anymore. You released it, you embraced it in a sense, and put it to work for you.
Yeah, so that's my first chapter in my book, acceptance.
Aha. Yeah, you said something about that, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So when do you plan on publishing it?
Well, I'm hoping to have it written by this year, and hopefully have it published next year sometime.
Good for you.
Because I see that potential that is going to be for other people, not just me. Because that book is just is going to be just a tool that people are going to be able to use, just so that way they're able to accept themselves more than anything, and be able to create a decision within themselves, that that's no longer what they want to go through or experience or live.
Right. I believe I met somebody at the meeting that had made a poor choice and got caught, got busted, and spent time in jail. And I think maybe he even said 10 years. And he doesn't begrudge it. He looks at it that he needed to be there because he learned something that was there, and now he's put his life to good work.
Right, and a lot of people don't realize, that might be part of our preparation, because our purpose we might have to go through that in order for us to live our purpose. So
Exactly.
that's why we always gotta stay focused, on our good mindset, so that way we don't let just things happen to us. We're making things happen.
I look at my life as I have a contract here on earth, and things come to me, and I kind of sort it out with my intuition, which is God's voice to me, and go with the flow on that. And then, this or that that's happened in the past, okay, that was part of making me who I am today. And I know somebody back in Iowa that is resentful and worries and anxious and depressed and on the sick side. I mean, this lady's very close to me, and I can't do anything about it because that's her mindset, where she wallows in, oh, poor me, this happened to me. And yet I'm thinking about it, and that is her purpose. She gave up the good life, perhaps, to come into this life and do this for other people, because she's involved with people that aren't healthy. So but anyway, I think that's a nice way to think about it, that we learn from our mistakes and use them to our advantage and others' advantage in the future. Yeah,
I think that's very powerful right there, because a lot of times we gotta learn when it's time to move past what's holding us back, and a lot of times we have to realize that sometimes we may be holding on to something that's breaking us.
right.
And it's some things we're so used to being broken that we don't know how to get fixed.
Right.
So so that's why I'm trying to get this book out, so that way we can be able to transform at least one person's life.
Right. And that might be all that you can reach, but that one person is forever changed and and how many will they affect because of your book?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Okay. Well, another thing, that I've been, focusing a lot on, was is teaching my kids how to be, successful leaders, how to serve others, put other people's needs, how to, take the initiative into taking, that first step instead of them waiting for somebody to tell them what to do. My oldest daughter, she was 9 years old, the same age I was when I came into the United States. So what I did was, I spent about $16,000 on me and her just to be able to travel across country and for her to be able to get in front of rooms with, people that are thinking big. I put her on a boot camp, a business boot camp with Grant Cardone. So she was able to learn how to sell, how to learn how to market, and learn how to scale. So, right there in that same boot camp, she was able to sell about 10 bracelets, and we were able to ship them across country. The following weekend, we traveled from Miami, Florida to San Jose, California to spend some time with some family that she's never met. And then after that, 2 days later, we flew out to Las Vegas and got in Bradley's headquarters, Lightspeed Media, for another business boot camp, where my daughter, she's 9 years old, was able to get on stage and, started telling a little bit of her story. That was such a happy moment for me. I was crying like a baby right there on the front row. So, just that's something that I, believe in too, teaching my kids, how to be not scared of getting in front of people, talking to people, because people are who are we gonna depend on. People are the people that we connect with. We're all brothers and sisters in this world. We just have to learn to accept it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So what kind of bracelets and stuff does she make?
Right now she's just making them out of beads, but also this out of beads, like little beads.
Yeah.
So and then she's got a friend in her class that she said that she makes them out of rubber bands. So she asked her to be her partner. So now they're both, it's trying to, make more money than me.
Oh, they might. You better watch out.
I might go work for them soon.
Yeah. So she's going to be able to market herself too with some selling skills.
Yeah. So I try to, pour onto her, as much as I can, give her, words of encouragement, build her up. So that way, when she gets to my age, she'll be able to, say, wow, I got here because of, my dad, he was able to paint that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Hey, her even learning some construction stuff's a good idea. Because here in this country, my dad had a woodworking shop, and that's what he did by hobby. And he had all the tools and everything, and I didn't know how to use them. And he's working all day. He's not going to want to teach his daughter how to. And maybe learning from my dad wasn't the greatest or something. But we had home ec, where you'd learn how to cook and sew and that kind of thing. And then we had shop class. Well, the boys got to take shop, and the girls had to take the home ec. They didn't get to cross over because it was women's work and men's work. And doggone it, I never got a shop class. And all those tools and equipment that my dad had to get sold after he passed. And I could have just picked it up and gone with it.
Yeah.
But such as así es la vida. Is that Spanish? Is that Spanish?
What'd you say?
Así es la vida.
Yeah, así es la vida.
Yeah.
That's how life is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I know in Spanish.
It's something.
Yeah, it's a start. Yeah.
So what else would you like to know about me? I
don't know. You've got quite a bit going there.
I try to keep my, I try to keep my time useful as much as I can. I try not to get distracted, with all the noise that's going on in the world. To me, it's just like the wind blowing. I try not, to get distracted. I block myself out of Facebook for 12 hours out of the day. And if I do get on there, it'll be just for 15 minutes. So that way I can upload a video or, a story, just so that way people can see what we're up to. And, I'm also, in order for me to get comfortable, being on camera, what I did, I had to hire somebody. Hey, I found this one guy that he's been doing a lot of video work for me. He was just out of the square. And I was just 30. I had done, taping a house. So I was all dirty, and then I just seen him, and I went back around, and I went up to him. I'm like, "Hey, you're the one that I've been looking for." So as soon as I said that to him, he's connected with me, and he's been following me, and he's been his life is being transformed just because I'm putting more. I'm raising his standards of the way he's thinking, and I'm trying to just make sure that he stopped worrying about what's going on in the present moment and start focusing on what's coming, because that's where we're going.
Yeah. So what a leader you are. Lead by example, huh?
Yeah, I try to, I try to write down every single day and tell myself, I'm able to build and develop strong leaders because I became a strong leader. So as soon as I started telling myself that, I'm starting to step into that vision.
Yes. Wow. So are you interested in coming back for an interview a few months from now or after Denver or something?
Yeah, we can absolutely sit down and talk more, because I'm sure this might just be a beginning of a long relationship that we are building now.
Yes, and I think people would want to know how you've excelled. So you have something you want to sign off with, because I think we'll close this session and put another one in the future.
Okay. Well, yeah. I just want to say I am so happy and grateful for the opportunity to be here, sitting in front of this, computer, and be able to share with you guys part of my story and part of who I am. And I'm just so happy and grateful for all the people that are tuning in to this conversation. And I hope that this conversation here had made an impact in your life and started to make you realize of who you are and what you are capable of, and to see that you are God's highest form of creation, and you are here as a unique individual to live your full purpose. But that's only if you allow it. You gotta let it flow out of you. You just gotta let it happen, because the more that you're able to keep holding it in, the longer you're gonna feel so bad for yourself. So just let it happen.
Yeah. So do you have a more than Facebook that people could follow you?
I have Instagram.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. Everything is under my name, Alejandro Quintero Rosales.
Okay.
You should be able to find me pretty much anywhere under that name. Okay.
All right. Well, it was just so great to have you on today, Alejandro. And I grew from hearing your story. So I'm sure the whole audience has too. And hopefully they have a better appreciation for Immigrant and more empathy, appreciation and empathy. So thank you so much for being on my show.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me. I look forward to speaking with you again and see what we can do together next.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to say thank you to my audience out here for tuning into my Common Sense Living podcast today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure you learned something new. Please leave a kind review and share this episode with a friend, and be sure to subscribe. You'll find me where podcasts are: Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and other platforms. And don't forget, we'll be here again next time. Woo! Thank you for tuning in to my Common Sense Living podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure you learned something new. Please leave a kind review and share this episode with a friend. And be sure to subscribe yourself. You'll find me on iTunes, Spotify, and other platforms. And don't forget, we'll be here again next week with another insightful episode of Common Sense Living. I can hardly wait.